The droids are advancing, but with that shield, we can't touch them. What we need is a plan of action.
What we need is hope.
We really do need a plan of action.
Rex, hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night.
That may be, sir, but I asked for a plan.
But Rex, deflecting is what Jedi do.
I guess that's technically true.
I grew up under 2 suns.
See? Doubtless Anakin has twice the hope.
I think you're becoming lost in your metaphor.
To quote Grand Admiral Thrawn, at one time or another, every warrior wishes to have an unconquerable fortress. Such a fortress is perceived as a refuge, a place of defiance, or a rock upon which enemies can be goaded into smashing themselves to their own destruction. But ultimately, safety does not exist. Those who trust in such will find that hope dashed upon the very rock behind which they seek to hide. We must dash the Separatist hopes upon the proverbial rock of their force field. In much the same way, Master Yoda recently dashed his airspeeder on the proverbial rock of Palpatine's house, and on climbing out of the wreck, finding Palpatine was not in his apartment suite at the time of the crash, merely cursed, and proceeded to throw all Palpatine's artwork out of the window.
What would the artwork be in this metaphor?
Droids, I guess.
The Geonosian strategist, Mottoggle the Elder, writing in the piece Defense, Offense, and Vibroblade Fighting, noted, the offensive is not in the least just tactical. A clever military leadership will succeed often in choosing a defensive stance which is strategically of such an offensive nature that the enemy is forced to attack us there. It's possible the Seps want us to attempt to deactivate their shield. Certainly, they'll have traps prepared.
Who's Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Someone I'm very much looking forward to meeting.
Have you not met him yet, Anakin?
I mean, meeting again.
Are you quoting someone from the future,
Look,
Anakin?
I'll be meeting him in 19 BBY, so it's not that far in the future.
Are we all just waiting for someone to ask what BBY stands for?
Why do we use a dating system no one understands? And why is it counting down?
Interestingly, the evil Count Dooku spoke of this.
It truly is incredibly generous of you to take the time to personally tell me what you thought of my thesis. Sorry, that was one of mine. A force flash forward, I think. But I am very curious to get a sneak peek into what Master Yoda will think of my thesis.
I'm always ready to hear the profound wisdom of Master Yoda.
So, please, don't spare my blushes. Give me an unfiltered review of all your thoughts on my thesis. Ah, right. I recall having a vision of this once. Not much quotable material there.
Fascinating. I wonder what Master Yoda meant by his comment on your thesis.
I don't think he liked it.
Nonsense, Anakin. If Yoda disliked it, then why was he obviously trying to teach you a key insight from the Jedi philosopher Shinda Kito? More specifically, his concept of Mu no Basho, the place of absolute nothingness.
How come you get to make up languages?
A plan of action would be welcome.
To quote the wisest philosopher, Einer and Andarno, economically, wars cost money.
Doubtless your hack philosopher wiled away many a winter to come up with such insight.
In a free economy where wealth is privately owned, the costs of war come out of the income of private citizens. There is no overblown public treasury to hide that fact, and a citizen cannot hope to recoup his own financial losses, such as taxes or business dislocations or property destruction, by winning the war. Thus, his own economic interests are on the side of peace. With this in mind, the Republic should offer unconditional surrender to the Separatists, for all blame lies with the former, and all hurt lies with the latter.
Even if we ignore the fact the Seps started the war, just going back to the time of the Naboo crisis, around 32 BBY.
Doubtless, if we offered a fair price, the free market would reveal what BBY truly stands for.
The Trade Federation, beyond their tax concerns, were eager to take plasma from Naboo. Both would have been very profitable for them.
To quote the wisest philosopher, Einer and Andarno,
you don't need to say that every time.
Men who are free to produce have no incentive to loot. They have nothing to gain from war and a great deal to lose.
As a private military contractor, do you find looting to be the least profitable part of your job?
The Mu no Basho is, of course, not an absence of the Force or itself, but rather an absence of division, concept, or quality.
Many is the Force vision I've had, wherein Master Windu informs me of the absence of quality inherent in my future thesis. Perhaps this is what he truly meant.
In short, an absence of all the things we need to define the separate existence of the ego self. Shinda Kito referred to this as the self without self. Simply put, by not being anything in particular, we are everything.
With the sole exception of a general with a plan.
By imagining the self as place or basho, rather than as a point, consciousness or presence, we get away from ideas of individuality. The extinguishing of the ego self in the basho leads to the birth of the self as basho. Master Yoda's point was, of course, not a mere bodily function, but rather the way in which the sound itself drew attention to the silence preceding it. A traditional example would be the poem, Lonely Silence, a single cicada's cry, slowly sinking into stone. However, Master Yoda, being the greatest luminary of his generation, and perhaps ever,
Has Master Kenobi ever met Master Yoda?
Not the one I know.
was able to express this concept without uttering a word. Of course, where Master Yoda's boundless brilliance enables him thus, we are rather more
Are we
limited.
not
So
addressing
we
the
ask ourselves,
explosion?
what did Master Yoda mean?
He just burped.
Evidently, he was gesturing to the importance of the notion of in-betweenness, and as argued by the Lasat thinker Watsuji Steto, are beings not fundamentally defined by our relationships to others. We are interdependent, and yet all individuals.
Except the several billion clones.
In the Force, you all look very different. Especially that one guy who's dating a hut.
Wait, did you say dating a hut?
Furthermore, using the lens provided for us by the Gree thinker Koyas Bshi, that of the idea that, within their culture, there is no separation between interiority and exteriority. Everything goes in this between. One could, therefore, say each part contains the whole.
But then where would the dichotomy be?
After all, as Shinda Kito himself famously argued, in a painting or melody, there is not one brushstroke or note that does not directly express the spirit of the whole. And indeed the thoughts of Goden, there are myriad forms and hundreds of blades of grass in the entirety, but you should also realize that the entirety of space is within each single blade of grass, each single form. Through saying nothing, Master Yoda has conveyed volumes. As ever, Master Yoda leaves us with much to meditate upon. As Utak'an said, if one's mind does not stop on any one leaf, thousands are visible.
Honestly, Master, I think Yoda was just being rude. He is somewhat speciesist.
Anakin, when Yoda calls us spoon-ears, or broodling, or tells us he doesn't take a species that defecates while giving birth seriously, he's not expressing some kind of deep-held prejudice, nor are they mere words intended to hurt. Rather, he is actually communicating something deeply profound, and which is all too often missed by the beings he makes pay his parking fines.
He recently called me wet birth, then asked why it took so long for humans to invent a word for blue, when that's the default color of the sky we evolved under.
Yes, and I'm sure he then threw a sofa at you.
He did.
But what did that sofa mean?
Pain.
We really should start thinking about how we're going to counter the droid
Sorry,
advance.
hang on, Rex, this is important. Once again, Anakin, you missed Yoda's wisdom, and it doesn't require the kind of bronze sky thinking that brought us Bacta. Yoda was trying to demonstrate that the contradictions at the heart of everything are what cause the constant change and motion we observe in the galaxy. Only in the Muno Basho are these dynamic oppositions reconciled. Consider, you were in a space, and the sofa was in that same space. This represents a clear contradiction, as you cannot be physically in the precise same space as the sofa.
What if you were sat on it?
However, we can reconcile this seeming contradiction by simply acknowledging causality. Namely, that you were pushed out of that space when the sofa was maneuvered in your general direction.
It hit my head, and I was unconscious for 2 hours. When I woke up, my wallet was gone, and someone had drawn images of assorted alien genitalia on my face.
More of Master Yoda's boundless wisdom. He was, of course, trying to highlight the three marks of existence, namely that of impermanence, dissatisfaction, and non-self. To the first, through knocking you unconscious, he was trying to show the necessity of letting go and accepting that death and suffering are an inevitability and part of life.
Both certainly seem imminent, if nothing else.
For you can never know when death or pain will strike. like a sofa to the back of the head.
He actually curved it, so it hit the side of my head. He also made sure it was spinning when he threw it, which was a good trick, but I'm not sure why it was necessary.
To the second dissatisfaction, Master Yoda's lesson was in 3 parts. First, by throwing a sofa at you, he was inflicting what is known as ordinary suffering, or dukkha. Second, having the pictures of alien genitalia depicted upon your face is, of course, an expression of suffering through change. The suffering that happens through the impermanence of things, also known as viparinama dukkha.
Equally, of course, the impermanence of some things can be quite welcome. This conversation, for instance.
You may be happy with your skin now, yet that could readily change, whether through the wear of injuries, time, or even the simple application of permanent marker.
It took 3 days to properly remove it.
Third, by taking your wallet, Master Yoda was giving you a masterclass in suffering through dissatisfaction or attachment. That is to say, the suffering because of being attached to objects, people, and the things you do in life. This suffering is also known as Sankhara Dukkha, or the suffering of existence.
There's an obvious joke there, but I'm above it. As an interesting aside, in his instruction for the Crown Prince, Claudar Setius noted that the first and foremost important rule to observe is to use our entire force with the utmost energy. Curiously, he did not end that sentence with utmost energy to stand around and debate philosophy.
Then I guess he wasn't the intellect you think he was. Now, this one is a little more esoteric, but naturally, Master Yoda's brilliance rose to the occasion. By taking away your wallet, Master Yoda forced you to confront the possibility that other things could likewise be taken away. But his point here was distinct from his application of permanent marker and viparinama dukkha. Rather, through the wallet, we see the expression of general anxiety around things, where the permanent marker reflects the permanent and undesired change in something we previously liked. The absence of money highlights day-to-day concerns and the fact that, no matter how we may feel in a given moment, there is the lingering concern that something catastrophic could happen.
Like an enemy army blowing away your artillery and capturing you.
As mentioned, the concept is a little more difficult to fathom, but, as with all Master Yoda's wisdom, it requires a little time to meditate on to truly appreciate.
He used up all my cash, and he ran up charges on my cards for tens of thousands of credits on alcohol, death sticks, lap dances, and, interestingly, 3 gold-plated bidets.
A small price to pay for Master Yoda's wisdom. Doubtless, the unexpected yet continual appearance of those bills only served to reinforce his education of Sankhara Dukkha, further cementing it in the forefront of your mind.
Spending the money of others is a statist mindset.
Then, of course, Master Yoda expertly introduced you to non-self, showing that, in much the way your consciousness can desert you, so too is there no unchanging permanent self. Consciousness waxes and wanes. The self changes from instant to instant, year to year, and shall one day disappear entirely. And yet...
Just tell me a false damn plan! Apologies for cursing.
Look, Rex, if this battle is so important to you, then fine. Here's what we shall do. You and I will attempt to delay the Separatists as long as we can, harassing them as they advance, disrupting their formation, taking out a few of their troops, and generally make a nuisance of ourselves.
Makes sense so far.
However, that will only buy us time. Ultimately, I will be forced to fake a surrender and get to their general that way.
That's a war crime.
Rex, no one's even read the Yavin suggestion.
Do you mean the Yavin Code?
So who can say if it's a war crime?
Me. And even if it works, it'll make surrender untenable in the future. Billions could be needlessly killed.
Interesting. You're saying it could be hard to repeat our false surrender strategy.
That's not my problem with it.
In the meantime, Anakin will take his completely moral child soldier.
Also, a war crime.
Sneak past enemy lines, perhaps by hiding under a box and crawling forward directly through the droid army.
That's a joke example, I take it.
I canonically cannot think of a better idea.
And then take out their shield generator. Then we shall blow away their tanks with our heavy artillery. Thereafter, I shall take their general hostage and force the droid army to surrender.
With respect, sirs, have either of you ever commanded an army before?
Moot point anyway. The Seps blew up our artillery 10 minutes ago. No, I actually had the bridges the Separatists were going to use mined. They've been taking the long way around, giving us more time to talk.
Mines. They have floating tanks.
Ah, but they're magnetic mines.
Why did they not just use the B1 clankers as minesweepers? They're very cheap and disposable.
Not after their stocks were exhausted by my fascinating speech on the morality of the Jedi Order taking babies, which we don't do, but if we did, it'd be perfectly moral.
Why did you not tell us your plan?
Because not telling subordinates their plans is what commanders do.
It's famously the opposite.
With their direct subordinates, at least.
Ah, but what if you were a spy?
You know I'm not, right?
Trust no one, Rex. That's the first rule of being a commander.
Instantly wrong.
Never telling your subordinates your plans is the second rule. The third is, of course, to always take every opportunity you can to talk philosophy.
Did you write these rules, sir?
The list goes on like that for a while.
What's the fourth rule?
If you ever turn evil, kill subordinates for their failings, even if it was for factors out of their control.
You'd end up surrounded by yes-men who falsify reports, hide their failings, and throw others under the airspeed.
It won't be relevant for us, though. I'll be sure to send the full list across at some point.
I will read it very carefully.
Either way, that time could perhaps have been more productively used.
Nonsense! We have a plan of action and got to discuss philosophy. What could have been more productive?
What was Dooku's explanation around BBY?
Oh, right. Here.
And that is the address, social security number, credit card details, banking information, height, weight, likes, dislikes, favorite color, and the full list of hobbies of Darth Sidious.
This good cop routine won't work on me, Dooku. I'll never break. But given that you apparently have all the answers, what is our dating system counting toward?
One day around 0 BBY, a man named Han Solo will tell Jabba the Hutt, "Jabba, you're a wonderful human being."
What?
2 years after, the son of your Padawan will be almost swallowed by a space slug, more properly known as an exogorth. It will be trying to swallow them because in its species culture they pride themselves on maintaining a pleasant ecosystem within their bodies, containing many countless species that all coexist. Indeed, those who lack variety in the life forms of their internal ecosystems, and especially those who only have non-sapient life forms, are not thought to be appealing mating partners during Clue. It is for this reason that particular exogorth wanted to swallow the future son of your Padawan. Jar Jar Binks will be responsible for bringing about the First Galactic Empire.
Of course, it's important to remember that the evil Count Dooku cannot be trusted, and everything he said was a lie. Doubtless, this was merely another layer to the multifaceted plan that sadistic mastermind is using to conquer the galaxy.
So is Jar Jar or is Jar Jar not a Sith Lord?
Anakin, the evil, lying, two-faced, good-for-nothing Count Dooku, merely stated that Jar Jar will be responsible for an alleged First Galactic Empire. This implies nothing of a potential Sith nature.
So not much hope of him contributing to my thesis?